Oh, this thing started already? Aha! I'm back, y'all. Solomon Project, where it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that counts. I'm still a little hoarse, still a little coughing going on, but I was in bad shape, y'all. I was in bad shape. Shout out to all my people that reached out to me. That that got me emotional, believe it or not. That got me emotional. And so much has gone on since I've been out. So much. Hey, butterflies. Yeah, so much has happened. I don't remember the last time I posted anything long form, live. Hey guys, hey, pretty heart. Good morning. Yeah, everything's okay now. I got sick and I don't know how to describe it. Can you guys hear me okay? Or is there too much background noise or something? Do I need to shut the truck off? Hey, Double D! Yeah, I'm back. What is this called? Oh, it's my son. One second. Hey, puppy.
Wendy Joe?
Te bendiga. Listen, I'm on a live right now. Can I call you back?
Absolutely.
All right, I
Well,
love you.
I'll call you back later. I was just calling you for my job, so
Oh,
I'll
okay.
call you back in a couple hours.
Okay, I love you.
Love you, Wendy Joe.
Te bendiga.
All right, bye.
Okay. Yeah, it was my son. Yeah, so I got sick. I didn't know what the deal was. Um, no, I didn't get booted. Thank you for that. No, I didn't get booted. It's nothing like the channel I actually did lose. I got corn bombed. Right. Substitute the C. You got corn bombed, and it was ugly. It was bad. Double D is greeting you pretty hard, but I don't know. I don't know what kind of cooties this was, but yeah, um, it was tough. It wasn't as bad as the first time I caught COVID. That was pretty bad. That was so bad. I called my son to give him instructions in the event that I would pass on the road. I would take two steps and be absolutely exhausted. So if I had to walk like 100 feet, I was stopping I don't know how many times just to get my energy back. And I was still working. So when I had to bring down the landing gear, for example, for the trailer, man, I would crank it maybe twice and I would have to stop. It was interesting to say the least. Interesting to say the least. The polar, the um, the sickness vortex got me, and like I said, you can still hear it. But gotten a lot better, a lot better. I was getting these terrible headaches, sinus headaches. I don't mean to disgust you, but when I would blow my nose, there'd be body parts coming out. It was terrible. Again, like with COVID, I lost a lot of energy. The desire to create content, do anything was out the window. I couldn't smell anything, so I couldn't taste my food. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, Elevated. One thing I was able to do was to help some people along with their investing. Hey, Duke, you're a good boy. Yeah, pretty. How's that going with the new job? Is that good? There's one thing I definitely want to discuss, and it has to do with one of the videos that the professor put out. I gotta get organized with that, get the title and everything like that. That video. Let me see if I can find it. At least the title of it. I don't know where my other stuff is. Yeah, it's good. Pretty. Let me find that particular video that the professor put out. Because that's sucker right there. You see, I got curious. I made some statements about my genealogy, and I think it's the video on tendernism. So yeah, so I started, digging a little bit into my DNA, because I had discovered some interesting stuff. Like, for example, I've got Sephardic Jew DNA. Now, the Sephardic Jews are known to have been residing in the Iberian Peninsula. So the Iberian Peninsula consists of Spain and Portugal. And these Jews were living in Spain and Portugal when the Moors had control of most of the peninsula. Yeah, tenderness. Is it tenderness? Yeah, I think that's what I saw, right? And she brings up the point that there's a painting that's being used, or she points out the fact that tendernism. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, wa alaikum assalam. I'm doing a lot better. Oh, and going back to what I was digging into with my DNA. So it turns out that part of my genealogy. So they were living in the Iberian Peninsula while the Moors had control of most of the peninsula, and they coexisted just fine. If there's any confusion, Muslims and Jews share the same genealogy. They share a descendancy from Abraham. Okay, the Muslims descended from Ishmael, which is Abraham's firstborn, and the Jews are descendants of Isaac. And it's very interesting, and of course there have been scientists that have been doing DNA studies and all kinds of other stuff. It's fascinating. But it turns out that from my father's side of the family, there are two last names that are associated with my family that are Sephardic Jews. They were sent to the Caribbean by the Spanish government to reestablish a particular type of group of people. And it turns out that those relatives of mine are from that Sephardic Jew line. I also have Mizrahi Jew, which is from the area of the world that is called the Levant. I found it real interesting. I'm a Christian, right? Although Christianity was started by Jews. Started by Jews, and it was, hey, pretty hard. It was started by Jews, and it was an extension of Judaism. Anyway, I just found it kind of interesting because of that. And part of what made me focus was imagery. And the professor brings it up. You work for Puerto Rican Jews with similar background. Oh, last name is Guzman. Okay. So my family's last name, interestingly enough, I was approached by a college mate of mine, who had told me, and I've been looking into this, but he told me that in Spain, as a result of the Inquisition, Jews that wanted to survive and stay in Spain had to claim that they converted to Christianity, and in so wound up changing letters of their last name and substituting whatever the letter was at the end of their last name, substituting it with an EZ, and it just so happens that the last names of that family tree of mine do end in EZ. And they are considered converts in order to survive, because after 1492, if you were a Christian, you already know. If y'all know anything about the Inquisition, y'all know the kind of torture they went through. But the imagery in what the professor was talking about, because she did bring up a painting that was used in context to what she was talking about. She brought up this painting where I believe she said, I gotta go back to the video and revisit it so I can get the facts right, but she mentioned how this painting was used to create the wrong imagery of what slaves were going through, because in the painting, if I remember correctly, hey, goat. Oh man, unfortunately, Spanish Jews were big players in the transatlantic. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but yeah, they were. And oops. And in the painting, everybody was happy, dancing. These are slaves. These are black slaves. These are what would fall under the category of Oh, what do they call themselves? I know ADOS is part of the descendants of slaves here in the United States, and it's inaccurate. It's inaccurate. I think in the painting, people were fairly well dressed and dancing and happy and all that. Slavery was not like that. And it's done in religion as well. So there are paintings that help establish the wrong premise regarding things like Jesus, for example. It caught my attention big time, because I'm always talking about marketing and propaganda. Oh, not that much, but enough to let people know, or enough to bring up a conversation about the topic. And thank you once again, Slim Jim. Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. When I go home, I get to listen to family members and friends of family members, and in their discussions, I can hear where they're impacted by marketing and propaganda. I made it my business to separate myself from the traps of marketing and propaganda. Well, I was in sales myself, so I had to use marketing tactics. Not propaganda, but marketing tactics I had to use constantly. And I remember some of the forums I went to. I remember some of the classes I had to take. I remember some of the... And it truly is amazing how that thing works. So one of my relatives I'm listening to, and I'm telling them, listen, did you hear what you just said? Did you hear what you just said? You are acting out as part of something that's embedded in marketing. Check this out. I wish I remembered exactly how it went down. That way I can show you as an example, because we do it to each other all the time. You see, with marketing, you'll get a message, and then you'll get a hidden message right along with it. And that hidden message is designed for you to reinforce the primary message. So, like hopping on the bandwagon, for example. You don't want to left behind. You don't want to get left behind. Everybody else is doing it, and you're not. Oh my! That response, that's part of that subliminal messaging that goes along with the primary message. Or even if you don't use words, even if you just use gestures, it's crazy, but it is extremely effective. Extremely effective. I can't make this live too long because I'm supposed to be swapping trucks with somebody. Somebody's bringing me a truck to exchange. And I don't know where he is. He should have been here by now. I don't see the truck anywhere. I don't see any phone calls. Nope, no phone calls, no nothing. Ooh. Thank you, Double D. Hi. Oh, how do I pronounce it? Sahu and Sahu. Hi. um, Butterflies. I'm in um, Niagara Falls. Yeah, it's cold up here. It's cold up in the piece. Yeah, I'm in the truck. Does that mean Indian? You're Indian? Yeah, Butterflies. There's mountains of snow up in here. And considering that this is the Buffalo area, it's not that bad. Buffalo gets pounded with snow every year. They measure their snow in feet on a yearly basis. Also out of India. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thank you. Oh, by the way, I got exposed to some interesting aspects of Indian culture. I used to live with someone who was of Indian descent and put me onto some of the music, some of the culture. Yeah. Butterflies, this is not really that bad. I mean, yeah, these guys get hammered out here because they got the lake. So they get the lake effect snow. Yeah, they get pounded. I drove in late afternoon and into the night, and it wasn't bad. I cut across Massachusetts into New York State. There was one scary thought though. You got to cross a couple of bridges to get to Niagara Falls from Buffalo. And I'm on one of those bridges, and out here, if in case you don't know, out here they lay down salt. The salt melts the snow. And when that happens on a bridge, the bridge freezes before the regular road does. And I'm looking at this wet surface, and it's about 12:45 a.m. after midnight. And I'm looking at this wet surface as I'm going across the bridge. And yeah, I'm looking at the river, and the current, you can see the current is fairly strong. And I'm reminded that that river is probably headed toward the falls. So jackknifing on that bridge and maybe rolling over the rails and into the river may not have a good outcome. Well, the impact onto the water will probably be enough, but should I survive that impact and start sink? Well, I don't know how fast I would sink, but it may not be fast enough for that current to drag me over to the falls, and then I'd really be in trouble. But it was a thought that crossed my mind. Black ice, yeah. Late night. Although they're responsible out here regarding laying down salt and sand. They're prepared. These northern states are prepared for all the snow that comes down and the ice that builds up. Unlike the South, where you hear about these devastating pileups from black ice, like what happened in Texas and in other parts of the country. Oh, you like my video? Sahu? Thank you for that. Sahu and Sahu. So it's two of you? You're Sahu number one or Sahu number two? I appreciate your appreciation for my channel. Thank you. Thank you. Sahu, is there anything in particular that you're curious about the culture here in the United States? Not that I'm a scholar, but I can definitely talk about one or two things. By the way, nobody really responded. How's the audio? Is my audio okay? Sometimes we can hallucinate when we are nervous. Same here when I drive over a mountain pass without 10,000 feet. Without 10,000 feet elevation, I was thinking like you. Yeah, that's right, Butterfly. You're out there. Colorado, is that right? Did I remember correctly? Are you in Colorado? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I had some cargo going from Denver over to California. And I think it was in the fall, early fall. And I was on I-70 going west on I-70. Thank you, WD. And Sahu, thank you. Going west from Denver on I-70. If you've never traveled on I-70, I suspect that you'll come across the highest elevation, at least on a highway. It's over 11,000 feet, over 11,100 feet. And it occurs in a tunnel on I-70 when you're going west. I'm going to tell you right now, whatever's going on 3,000 feet below that 11,000, you can't expect it to be the same when you're up on those mountains. When you're on the Rocky Mountains, you cannot expect, when you're going over those peaks, you can't expect to have the same weather that you did when you were down in Denver, for example. Nope. Same thing when you're in California. Is that the Sierra Nevada? Sierra Mountains? Same thing. When you're going on I-80, for example, and you're by the town Truckee or Donner's Pass, if you're going west and you're leaving Reno, Nevada, which is right by the border of California, you can't expect to encounter the same weather at Donner's Pass that you did in Reno. Nope. When you're going over those mountains, could have been raining where you were at. It's snowing up in the mountains and heavy. Yeah, it's very mountainous. And one of the most nerve-wracking trips I ever took with a heavy load was going from, I think it was also Denver, down to Durango. Whoa. Whoa. I definitely would reject a load going to Durango from Denver during the winter months. No, thank you. Even if I had a extra pair of underwear or diapers or a pair of Depends, whatever. No. From Denver to Durango, no thank you. You're taking a pretty big risk during the winter. Even if they allow, I don't know. I don't even know if they allow. They must shut that down because that's treacherous. You got these. Oh, here's that truck I was waiting for. Well, guys, I'm gonna have to let you go. Wolf Creek Pass. Okay. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Butterflies. Here's the truck, guys. I'm gonna have to let you go. Listen, thank you. I'm back, so I'll be posting more long forms and doing more lives. All right. So, guys, stay fresh, keep it profitable, and here I go. Love, peace, and hair grease. Bye.